Howdy, y'all. I'm Justin.
And I'm Kim.
Welcome to Cowboys Like Us, the podcast where we talk about Taylor Swift and her music. Yeehaw. Hello. Welcome back to Cowboys Like Us, the only podcast where April Fool's Day lasts all year long. This episode comes out on April Fool's Day, as you, the listener, already know.
Yep, figured as much.
Yep. Today, we are talking about If This Was a Movie. Originally a part of the Speak Now era as a bonus track on the deluxe edition, but not quite that simple these days.
Nope.
As we will discuss. But first, we have poll results. The people voted, and you gave Enchanted a 9 out of 10.
Pretty sure that's what I gave it to, right?
I believe that is correct.
Oh, yeah. Agree. Hard agree.
Do you have any pod business to chat about?
I sure had something, and I don't remember what it is now. I really need to write these things down.
Well, for now, let's move on to news. News from around the Taylorverse. Travis Kelce.
Heard of him.
Has been running around all over the world. He was indeed in the Bahamas, as had been rumored, with Taylor.
I was going to say, with some chick. I think her name is Taylor.
Yep. Some photos were taken of them from seemingly very far away. Zoomed in. Mm-hmm. Super. It was blurry, almost Sasquatch level quality of images.
Yeah.
But Swifties weren't pleased by this. They felt it was an invasion of their privacy and shouldn't have happened.
Yeah, we kind of talked about this in the pod staff chat, but Taylor has expressed before that she does not like when she is photographed without her consent by paparazzi, but especially when she's in her bathing suit. And they just were like, let's get all of the bikini photos we can get.
Indeed. And in one photo, Mr. Kelce had a handful of that ass.
Yeah, he was really going for it.
He was.
But she didn't seem to mind, so.
Nope. All consensual.
Yep.
He then popped up in Cleveland on his own, his hometown.
Mm-hmm.
And he got pizza at Garachi's Slice Shop.
Ooh.
They posted a photo of him on Instagram and said, when NFL star and Heights legend Killer Trav swings by Garachi's Slice Shop, you know it's going to be a touchdown-worthy slice. Next time, bring Taylor.
We want Taylor.
Yep. I hunted down some photos of Garachi's pizzas, and they look good. If I ever find myself in Cleveland, I'm going to go.
Maybe we go to Cleveland just to go to this pizza place.
We are on a pilgrimage.
Yep.
Yep, maybe so. Last Sunday, he showed up in Malibu and had lunch with Taylor. A fellow diner who was at the restaurant said, quote, Taylor walked into Nobu, Malibu at around 4 p.m. She looked more phenomenal up close than you'd ever imagine. She had a lot of security with her when she walked in through the front and was in high heels and full glam and looked completely date ready. She was escorted to the back part of the restaurant and smiled at everyone. The energy was everything. It was like the entire room stopped and all eyes were on her. I was there celebrating my birthday, and I'm the biggest fan ever, so today was like a dream come true. Travis came out from the back part of the restaurant later and was all smiles on the walk through the restaurant. He stopped to say hi to a few folks at their tables. It was just the two of them. They sat in a very private part of the restaurant, which was closed off from everyone else. It seemed very VIP.
Yeah, I don't know if this is the same fan, but I saw a TikTok of someone who was there who was like, she is even more beautiful in person.
Yeah. Well, if it's not, this person agrees with that person.
Yeah.
Yep. In other news, Scott Swift, after a month-long investigation by New South Wales police, Papa Swift will not be charged for his alleged assault of a paparazzo that he punched in the face.
They're not going to charge the 70-year-old man with assault.
Yep. My title for this news in the doc is Big Daddy Beat the Charge, which he did. Praise God. In other news related to the law, good segue. Spoilers. Legislators in Missouri are working on a new law that criminalizes the publishing or the threat of publishing an AI-generated sexual image of someone. It is called the Taylor Swift Act. State Representative Adam Schwadron said they were able to take it down for Taylor. However, common Missourians would not have the same protections afforded to them. Not everyone is Taylor Swift. And by calling it that, it is, I think, using her name to highlight the problem that exists with AI-generated sexual images.
Yeah, I would think that Taylor would be supportive of this.
I have to imagine.
Yeah.
Seems like a obvious bipartisan thing.
Yeah.
That should get passed without much problem. Jack Antonoff is a good friend. A Dutch news outlet, NRC, was interviewing Mr. Antonoff over the phone this week, ostensibly about the new Bleachers record, which I believe is self-titled, so Bleachers, available now wherever you get your music. But then the interviewer pivoted, and they asked him about his involvement or not in the Tortured Poets department. And Jack said, "If you're looking for clickbait, you've come to the wrong place. Thank you for this conversation." He then hung up the phone. So that was the end of the interview. He had said previously, "I'm a little bitch sometimes, but you come after my friend Taylor, you're toast to me." So the Netherlands, all of y'all, you're toast to him, I assume. NRC spoke for your whole shit. Yep. It's over now. Forget to inform you.
Unfortunate.
Any other news you wanted to chat about? Then let's move to Chart Watch. On the Billboard Artist 100, Taylor reclaimed her throne at number 1 from Miss Ariana Grande, who dropped to number 3. Casey Musgraves was at 2. On the Billboard Hot 100 Singles Chart, Cruel Summer rose 3 spots to number 10, back in the top 10 once again. And Is It Over Now dropped 4 to number 31. On the Billboard Top 200 Albums Chart, Lover is up 2 spots to number 7. 1989 TV is down 1 to number 9. Midnights is down 1 to 13. Folklore stayed at 17. Reputation dropped 3 spots to number 22. Red TV up 6 to number 31. Speak Now TV up 2 spots to number 33. Evermore is up 7 to number 36. And Fearless Taylor's Version up 10 to number 66. And finally, 1989 Stolen up 1 spot to number 85.
Why? Why? Why?
I don't know. Based on the sort of general pattern, it looks like there was a lot of movement in the sort of 30 to 100 range. I guess a lot of stuff probably just dropped out.
Yeah.
So everything that kind of held,
shifted.
Yeah, came up. Do you have a clown corner today, Kimberly?
I don't, y'all. There's a big one coming. It's coming.
Oh.
So there's quietness in the tent in preparation.
That's right. You think circuses happen just spontaneously? No. That's not how it works.
As an event planner, I can tell you, they take a lot of planning.
You gotta get ready. All right, then. Let's move on to our Song of the Week.
Song of the Week.
If This Was a Movie was originally released on Speak Now Deluxe as a bonus track. The Taylor's version of this song was released on the More Fearless Taylor's Version EP. And this seems to suggest, at least to me, that Taylor classifies it as part of the Fearless era. Perhaps it was written earlier than people assumed. I'm not sure. How do you feel about this? You said last week, if I recall, it's always going to be Speak Now to me.
It always is going to be Speak Now for me, because that is when it was originally released. My theory about why she released it, I could probably verify whether or not my theory is correct, but I have not done that research because we fly by the seat of our pants around here. Mm-hmm. But if it was used in like a TV show or a movie or anything, her Taylor's version...
Not to my knowledge.
Okay, I was going to say, then that would make sense as to why she released it early and added it into the Fearless era. But did it not come out with she dropped like 4 singles of her versions. And it was All the Girls You Loved Before, Safe and Sound, Eyes Open, and this song, right?
Yep.
And this one was just tied to Fearless.
It was.
Right. So that makes me think that she dropped all of those for some reason.
Yeah.
Other than just for shits and gigs.
Well, the other 3 didn't have a natural home because she doesn't need to do Lover Taylor's version unless she just wants to.
Right.
Because it's a universal record.
But she does note it as from the vault. Right.
And then the other 2 were Hunger Games soundtrack, so they're their own separate thing.
Right. I'm just saying, like, when she dropped them, the 4 of them,
Right.
And how hard they were to find when she first dropped them, like, makes me think that she was dropping them for some other reason. Like, whether it be, I don't know, like some sort of copyright or something was running out on them or something. I don't know. But either way, I do understand your argument of maybe she wrote it closer to the Fearless era, and so time-wise it fits more in that. But it was originally released with Speak Now, so in my mind, I see the Speak Now cover art when I think of this song.
Well, one of the reasons that I think it was probably written sort of in between Fearless and Speak Now, but not as part of the Speak Now sessions necessarily, is because Speak Now was to be Taylor's grand songwriting statement, where she's going to write everything herself. No co-writes, nothing like that.
Right.
This song has a co-write. It's written by Taylor Swift and Mr. Martin Johnson.
Yeah.
So if Taylor's plan was to write everything herself, I don't know why she would bring him in unless she already had this song kind of in the can. I don't know. Doesn't matter.
So do you think she originally tacked it onto the Speak Now era because it fit sound-wise? But she did, it was a deluxe track or a bonus track because she didn't want the original, like, standard album to have any co-writes?
I don't know what Taylor's plan was for this song when she wrote it. I don't think Taylor knew what to do with it. I think her label needed more songs, and they're like, that's a nice song. We've got it. You're not going to put it on Red, probably, so let's just put it on this, and then we'll be done.
Because, like, spoiler alert, if this song never existed, it'd probably be okay.
Yep, it probably would.
Anyway, moving on.
Right. So, written by Taylor Swift and Martin Johnson. Who is Martin Johnson, I hear you ask? He's the lead singer and rhythm guitarist of a band called Boys Like Girls.
I've heard of them, but some people might not have.
Yeah, for the youths out there, they were the Great Value brand All-American Rejects.
Yeah.
That's how I would describe them.
Sure.
They kind of came in once the emo pop wave had already kind of gotten really big, so they consequently felt very fake to me, like industry plants, manufactured. Emo's in, we gotta have an emo band, let's put these guys out there.
Yeah, their sound screams 2010.
Yep. I didn't care for them. But Taylor and Martin wrote this song together. He's also written and produced for other artists, including Avril Lavigne, Daughtry, Jason Derulo, Christina Perri, Gavin DeGraw, and Hot Shell Ray.
Okay, first of all, love Hot Shell Ray.
They have 2 songs, and then never put out anything again.
Excuse me, the album with those 2 songs on, all bangers. Gavin DeGraw. These all very much line up, other than Avril Lavigne. I think she's bigger than, like, the rest. And Jason Derulo. Jason Derulo. Also, Christina Perri's name doesn't have a J in it.
Christina Perri. Did Taylor and Mr. Martin Johnson ever date? The reason I ask is because some fans are convinced that they did. And they believe the song Dear John was actually not about John Mayer, but about Mr. Johnson.
Yeah.
I thought perhaps there was material for a clown corner there, but Kimberly didn't find enough, I guess.
I'm a slacker.
Oh, so she just didn't do it. Okay.
I am raising a child. Yeah. So the consensus is they probably had a little fling. That's what most fans agree on. Whether they really dated or not, or just were like flirty or, talking, whatever you want to call it. But the only real bit of evidence is Ashley Tisdale also dated Martin Johnson. And she seemingly confirmed in an interview, kind of, that they dated. But she surely wasn't there. So she's getting one side of the story, you would think. So.
Martin thinks, or at least claims,
right,
that they
is telling his relationships that they dated.
Yep.
So it could be scandalous, but who knows?
Yep. He could be just lying to make himself seem cooler. That seems like something the lead singer of Boys Like Girls would do. Feels very on brand.
But yeah, it's not one that has been hard launched. It was not a relationship that was hard launched, as the kids say. Which I don't think the kids say that anymore. I don't know what the phrase is nowadays, but...
Yes, it wasn't even soft launch. It wasn't launched
Yeah.
publicly
exactly.
at all. The song was produced originally by Taylor Swift and Nathan Chapman, and the Taylor's version was produced by Taylor Swift and Christopher Rowe. The original version of this song peaked at number 10 on the Hot 100, whereas the Taylor's version, probably because of the weird scattershot way it was released, did not chart.
Oh, yeah. I don't know that it would have charted the second time either, though.
Yeah.
I think it charted the first time just because of the hype around Speak Now.
Yeah.
When it came out.
Spoiler alert, it's fine.
Yes.
This is fine. This song is fine. What has Taylor said about it?
Well, she ain't said shit, so I feel like Taylor also thinks that the song is fine.
Yes. An afterthought of a song. Let's get into some critical reception. First off the top, I want to tell you, listeners, that I had a real bastard of a time trying to find critical reviews for this song. The overwhelming majority of Speak Now reviews are of the original standard album or Speak Now Taylor's version, neither of which have this song on them. And that means this song does not appear in any of those reviews. They're not talking about it at all.
Yeah.
As hard as it might be to believe for the people out there, there was a time when Taylor could put out a new song and the world just kind of said, okay.
Yep.
That's what happened with this song.
Yeah. You really had to be a Swiftie to care.
But we did find a couple of things. Billboard said she may not be entering Christina Aguilera's dirty phase just yet, but if this was a movie, represents a more age-appropriate track for the innocent country hero.
Vocal called it a really pretty track.
And that's it. Couldn't find a single soul aside from those who talked about it. But what about the fans? Kimberly, do the fans enjoy this song?
Rob Sheffield
Big boy Rob!
gave it a ranking of 224 out of 243.
Pretty low.
I would just like to remind you, even though we haven't gotten there yet, 243 is bad blood.
Right.
We know that much. So Rob said, and I swear sometimes I think Rob is just Justin in disguise.
I can't be everyone in the world. That's what it seems like.
You and Madeline are...
We're the only two people on Earth.
Yeah, y'all make up everyone else. So Rob said, "Good evening, sir. May I help you? You're a guy in a Taylor Swift song who wants to stand outside the window in the pouring rain, begging the love of your life to forgive your sorry ass? Take a number and get in line."
Yep. So Rob thinks it's been done repeatedly and more effectively, and I agree with him. r/Taylor Swift ranked it number 18 out of 19 tracks on Speak Now Deluxe Edition, ahead of only Superman.
One of the other bonus tracks.
Yep. And in my opinion, Superman's better than this song. But
I agree.
ooh, let's get into some lyrics, shall we? Verse number 1. Last night, I heard my own heart beating. Sounded like footsteps on my stairs. 6 months gone, and I'm still reaching, even though I know you're not there. I was playing back 1,000 memories, baby, thinking about everything we've been through. Maybe I've been going back too much lately, when time stood still and I had you. Cool opening couplet. Listening to her heartbeat, she hears her heart's innermost desire, right? Her dude coming up the stairs.
Going up the stairs.
And I just want to say, Taylor, you are going back too much. For sure. Nostalgia is a prison. The future is unknowable. All we have, listener, is this moment. Be present in this moment. Do not regret the past. Do not dread the future. Simply exist in this moment. And that will be good for your mental health. Easier said than done, but you gotta try to do it.
I've been feeling really nostalgic recently, and it's been making me feel hella sick to my stomach.
Same, bro. It's my whole life, really. Chorus. Come back, come back, come back to me like you would if this was a movie. Staying in the rain outside till I came out. Come back, come back, come back to me like you could if you just said you're sorry. I know that we could work it out somehow, but if this was a movie, you'd be here by now. So clearly Taylor watched all the same shitty romance movies and rom-coms that we all did back in our early days, but life is rarely so simple or so formulaic. It's much more messy and much more complicated. In real life, grand gestures often come off creepy. And if you don't believe me, you can ask the dude from Owl City about that. He has some notes for you.
Adam Young, tell us.
Here's one example that is right off the top of my head. I don't even have it in the doc. I'm remembering it extemporaneously. Big word. So, Nicholas Sparks, The Notebook. One of the classic romantic films of the aughts.
Yep.
Ryan Gosling's character wants...
Noah
wants... Is it Ellie? Allie. Noah wants Allie to go out with him. She doesn't want to. So what does he do? He runs to the carnival where she is with some other dude, right?
Well, they meet at the carnival.
They meet at the carnival.
Yeah. And she's there with another guy.
Yep. He wants her to go out with him.
Yeah. He meets her and asks her out and is like, I'm really into you. And she's like, I'm here with someone else. You're coming on too strong.
Yep. Well, anyway, he hangs from the Ferris wheel.
Yeah, he climbs the fucking
Ferris wheel and hangs on and refuses to come down.
Like, oh, yeah.
Until she agrees to go out with him.
Yeah.
I will hang on this Ferris wheel until I fall and die, unless you agree to go out with me. Mm-hmm. That's not romantic.
No.
That's terrifying and manipulative.
And honestly, that is just the beginning of all of the horribly toxic relationship moments that they have in the course of that story.
Yep. It started off bad and it continues that way.
And it got worse.
Yep.
And then people out there are like, oh, I want to love like Noah and Allie. No, you don't. No, you don't.
Well, verse number 2. I know people change and these things happen, but I remember how it was back then. Wrapped up in your arms and our friends were laughing because nothing like this ever happened to them. Now I'm pacing down the hall, chasing down your street, flashback to the night when you said to me that nothing's gonna change, not for me and you, back before I knew how much I had to lose. Everything changes. That's the one constant in life, is change. Back in the early days of the relationship, the honeymoon phase, if you like, everything was great. And Taylor wants to go back to that. But here's a truth for the young would-be lovers out there. The honeymoon phase isn't real. It's real in the sense that when you're in it, you feel it. But those feelings go away, right? And then where are you going to be? You've got to wait it out and then see how you feel. Real love is not the sort of giddy butterflies in your stomach feeling you get. It's, being comfortable being with someone all the time, even when...
Being all up in someone's shit.
Yeah, just being there and being comfortable, being yourself, and them being themselves, and enjoying one another's company. That's what love is. But Taylor was young and didn't know that, and a lot of people make that same mistake. That's why I'm just going to go ahead and say it. I don't think I'm a role model for children, so I think I can say this without endangering that.
Okay.
Live together before you get married.
Oh, yeah.
Every time. No matter what.
I think as a role model for children, you should say live together before you get married.
Yeah, well, religious sources might disagree, but...
Yeah, well.
Yeah. Because that's the only way to know if you can hack it, man.
Yep, take those risks, like living together, before you are legally bound to one another. And you can't get out.
Right.
I mean, you can, but it's not easy.
Yeah.
If you just live together but you're dating, you can still get out. There's an easy escape.
Yeah. If you don't live together, then you can do all your weird, gross things after your partner goes home to their house. You're all alone, right?
Yeah, and then once you get married and you move in together, you're going to find that you feel trapped in your own home.
Yep. Who could have seen it coming? It could have been you, if you'd done your due diligence. Under the bridge.
Yep.
If you're out there, if you're somewhere, if you're moving on, I've been waiting for you every day since you've been gone. I just want it back the way it was before, and I just want to see you back at my front door. Move on, girl. Just move on. It's not cute or endearing. Have some self-respect. You know what I mean? Because here's the thing. Dolly Parton, national treasure. Jolene, one of the greatest songs ever written and recorded. But Dolly in that song doesn't have a lot of self-respect. She's begging Jolene not to be a man thief. You don't need a man who can be thieved, Dolly Parton. And Taylor doesn't need a man who's just gonna break her heart and run off and do other things. We romanticize everything, but particularly intimate relationships. It's not real. It's not real. It's not a movie, you know? It's not a movie. You either like being with someone and you choose to do that, or you don't like being with someone and you choose not to. That's how simple it can be if you will just allow yourself to communicate open and honestly with your partners. Pre-chorus, and I say, come back to me like you would before. You said it's not that easy. Before the fight, before I locked you out, but I take it all back now. Oh no, says Taylor, the consequences of my actions. In all seriousness, though, this is a recurring theme. Taylor, presents herself, at least in her music, as dramatic, crazy, emotional girl, right? I'll throw things around, I'll fight with you, I'll kick your ass out and lock you out, take your keys and shit. Taylor blows up her own relationships, like characters in movies often do, and then is hurt and confused why the dude isn't sitting there pining for her like she is for him. Why is he not at my door outside my window with a boombox or whatever, trying to win me back? Isn't that what he should do if he loves me? No. If you love someone, just be in love. God damn, we don't need all this drama. A lot of people make that mistake. They watch romantic movies and they see drama and they think drama equals love. Drama does not equal love. Drama equals drama.
Yeah.
Yep. Go back and put that on repeat. Listen to it again.
Yeah, a lot of time drama also equals manipulation.
Right. And the reason romantic films often have so much drama is because if there was no drama, it wouldn't be a movie. It would just be people being in love, which is
boring.
Yeah, it's a great thing, but doesn't make a great movie because movies require conflict, right? So
yeah, it's boring to watch.
Will they, won't they? The tension, right? Yeah, but you don't want that in real life because it's exhausting. Outro. You'd be here by now. It's not the kind of ending you want to see now. Baby, what about the ending? Oh, I thought you'd be here by now. It's not the kind of ending you want to see, but it's a more realistic ending than basically any romantic film. Every relationship that you ever have in your life, except hopefully, if you are lucky, one of them is going to end badly. You're going to hurt your partner, or they're going to hurt you, or you're going to hurt each other. That's how it has to be. Unless you're poly, which,
I was going to say, if you're monogamous.
That's right. If you're monogamous. So, you just got to accept that going in. Or not. And just don't go in. That's fine. Live your life. Do your own thing. Don't be afraid to get hurt. But don't put up with it because you think that's what love is.
I want to know what love is.
Yep. Let's get into our overall thoughts about this song. Kimberly, what have you got?
We've talked about it a lot. This song is very much idealizing movie romances, which is unrealistic. So it's kind of an unrealistic song. But, of course, I've talked about before that I was really into Speak Now when it came out. And at the time, there wasn't a single song that I didn't like on it. So I used to love this song. I used to think it was great. Mostly because when this came out, I had no idea what being in a relationship was like other than movies. So I was very much like, yes, this is a song. She gets me. She gets me. As an adult, though, I get it. I get where she was at the time. I have a bit of nostalgia for it, but it really doesn't hit me the same anymore.
Yeah. For me, I've talked a lot about the lyrics, so I don't want to go into that too much. But I just want to say, everyone understands as a society that porn does not teach you how to be good at sex. It does not represent how sex should be. I would argue that romance movies do the exact same thing.
Yeah.
They show you a version of romance that is not only unrealistic, but is potentially harmful to your mental health if you try to recreate it in real life. I think it's equally as unrepresentative, and I think we don't talk about that, and maybe we should.
Yeah, but I mean, just to remember that Taylor was 17, 18, 19 around this time.
That's right. Taylor had drunk the Kool-Aid because no one was talking about it.
Yeah.
You know? But
I mean, that's that formative early young adult time where you're really getting into relationships, but like you don't know what you're doing.
Nope.
Also, just a funny note that I remember from the time. The way that she sings, come back to me, like.
Yeah.
And it kind of gets a little whiny. A lot of fans heard come back to me, Eli. And there was a theory that ran, it spread like wildfire, that it was about a song about a guy named Eli, and she had name dropped this person that nobody knew that she dated and whatever, and nobody could come up with an Eli that she was associated with. But a lot of people heard that lyric. It's one of the more famous Taylor Swift misheard lyrics.
I like this song well enough when I listen to it, It's catchy, decent song. But then I immediately forget about it once it ends. It's as if I'd never heard it before. I can't recall it. It just goes away. When I listen to it, it reminds me a little bit of Innocent, only less polished. Something about it, musically, melodically, just really...
Maybe that's why Innocent made the standard album and this one didn't.
Maybe. And it does feel to me musically like a transitory step between Fearless and Speak Now. I would love personally to know a little bit more about when exactly it was written. I've tried to find that information. I could not. So, I don't know. But it's interesting.
Yeah.
Let's move on to ratings. You rate every song on a 1 to 10 scale. 1 is very bad, 10 is very good, and 5 is very mid. Kimberly, how do you rate if this was a movie?
I'm actually adjusting my rating.
Go for it.
From where it's at in our notes. I'm going to give it a 5 because it truly is very mid to me. It rides the midnight train. I had thought that I was going to give it a 6, but now that I think about it, I gave both Evermore and Exile a 6, and I don't think that's fair to them as songs. So it's a 5.
Well, because I'm not a dumbass, I didn't rate Evermore Exile that low. So I'm going to stick with my original rating, and I'm going to give it a 6. Because kind of how I think of the ratings in my head, anything above a 5 means it's positive when this song comes on. If I'm at a party and this song comes on, is my experience improved? If so, then it's above a 5. And I think mine would be very slightly improved. I'd be like, oh yeah, that's a nice song. So for me, it's a 6. And I'm good with it there.
All right.
If you would like to tell us how you rate if this was a movie, you can do it on Spotify. There will be a poll in the episode description. And you can vote on our various social medias platforms. Kimberly, what are we on the social medias?
Well, we're on Instagram. We're on X. We're on
Threads.
Thank you. We're on YouTube. And
TikTok. And Patreon.
And Patreon. And don't forget that your Patreon votes count as 2.
That's right.
Votes. So if you really care about this song, get on Patreon.
# stuff the ballot.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah. So check out our Patreon. The Pod Gremlin has been over there uploading stuff for 1 Starbucks coffee a month. You can be our best friends.
Yes. Catalytic converters, right? Cars have them. What exactly they do, I don't know enough about cars to tell you. But they're important to the health of your car. They don't work without them.
So I've been told.
And if you don't want the Pod Gremlin to be scurrying up under there and stealing your catalytic converters, you need to be on our Patreon.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I can't promise that you'll have your catalytic converter for very long. So, just be aware. Just be aware. Yeah. Kimberly, what song are we talking about next week?
Oh, I'm sorry. Wait a minute. Hold on. We should say that we are on all of those platforms at CBLU_podcast.
That's right. At CBLU_podcast. Now, Kimberly, what song are we talking about next week?
We're doing Snow on the Beach.
That's right. So
we might have a little return friend of the pod situation.
That's right. We might bring Christy in to talk about Lana Del Rey, her favorite. I don't know if that's true, but one of her favorites.
One of her favorites, so she can come after me and be really mad at me.
Yep.
For all of the things that I've ever said about Lana.
The slander.
Yep.
But until then, thank you all so much for listening. We will see you next week. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Pod Gremlin Maybe here. Thanks for listening to Cowboys Like Us. Follow us on all platforms at CBLU_podcast. You can find us on Instagram, X, the zombie Twitter, TikTok, and Threads. We're now posting our episodes on YouTube. Head over there and like and subscribe. All of these links can be found in our link tree in the episode description. Thanks for supporting the pod. Y'all come back now, you hear?